Hey honey bunches, sorry it's been a bit of a while. It's a weird time and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's just felt more fragile, like this whole thing is like hitting you in new ways every week or every few days. So I've just sort of been readjusting, learning to be comfortable with being uncomfortable in the anxiety sense, and acknowledging that I'm needing more sleep and just needing to take it easier in order to sort of build myself up again, find a new normal. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, I want to make a nice video. I meant to say something yesterday, but literally it was what you saw. It was good food and a great puzzle. It was actually a birthday present I bought for a friend, but I thought, look, her birthday's not for a couple of months and it sort of feels like a shame to have a good puzzle in the house, so I did it. And it was super cute, great puzzle. Also, I'm finding such comfort in, as I've already said, circular narratives, things that I've already seen, or comedy that just returns to a normal at the end of each episode. So you sort of know that everything's going to be okay. No accident that that's the case, I'm sure. I've been doing a lot of gardening and I haven't really been filming that for the channel because, look, I don't know if anything's going to come out of this, but I've sort of started a documentary of sorts. Look, there's not much you can do in like the film industry at the moment because it's kind of dead. So I'm just yeah, working on something which has also been taking my creative energy, which has been very limited, away. So yeah.
How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever?
Break down into it in a thunder way, and it goes more brown than black.
What I've done with it.
The investment in
It's so appealing. Really, what is this?
Disturbance of the soil, no digging or anything. This was probably used for planting in, so when that summer
I gotta do it, Mum.
growing your own, it's fun.
Charles Dowding. Oh, I'm so sold, Mum. I just finished Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter, number 5. Yesterday was game changing. I'm probably super late to the party, but there's a guy on YouTube and he's written several books called Charles Dowding, and he talks about this no-dig method of organic vegetable growing essentially. So we have been thinking of redoing, improving, upping our vegetable growing capacity production for ages, because our garden is really sandy soil and it's really hard to dig. It's very water resistant, yet our house is sort of British-esque there's garden beds, rose bushes, box hedges, that type of thing. So it's sort of reached a point where it's just stayed at what is planted there, and it could be so much better, and weeds have sort of gotten out of control. But this no dig method, bloomin' heck, have you heard of it? Essentially you starve the weeds or grass or whatever you're wanting to grow on top of sunlight by putting cardboard on it. Then you top it with compost, and you essentially are growing your vegetables in compost, and the cardboard suppresses the weeds and they eventually die away with this method. But by growing your produce in compost and adding compost to your patch or area once a year, that's the only sort of feeding you give it. You're continually sort of feeding nutrients down into the soil. You're not digging anything, you're just adding and letting the veg grow in that, and the root systems to like grow down, and the cardboard will disintegrate after 3 months, and the goodness from the compost will make its way into the soil below that you haven't touched. But otherwise, if you tried to dig it and improve it and get all the roots out, it would have been a bloomin' nightmare. It sounds so good to be true. It reduces the weeds you get, it also limits the number of pests you attract, and he has the most lovely manner. Seriously, watch his videos. They're quite long, but they're really high production value. I think his son must. It's just such a bloody blessing that he has someone who like can capture what he does in a high production type of way. I mean, it's not exorbitantly high production, but it's very pleasant to watch and relaxing. He's in Somerset in the UK, if I haven't mentioned that. He's very like softly spoken and just very passionate, and he just makes you want to bloom and get the most out of your gardening. Oh, it's so exciting. And obviously you need to amp up your composting, so bloody game change in the last 24 hours discovering him, obviously. Link his channel below. Today we're doing a food shop and I want to edit a video. It's a nice day. 17, sunny. Oh, I'm so happy I discovered him. Oh. And my parents were like, yeah, heard of it. So I know I'm like, it's a thing. But even they were learning things from his videos, which I'm like, couldn't be more of a beginner. So he speaks to my level as well as theirs, and looks bloody game changing. Just the sort of lushness and the vibrancy of his garden and the amount that he grows. He has like a market garden, so they're selling produce. It's just phenomenal, the sort of results he gets. So inspiring. And I think he's posted a few more videos lately, considering gardening content is very appealing at the moment. Oh, love him.
Start them in the greenhouse because these plants are very susceptible to, but at this time it's not too strong, so they can.
What a good day. If anyone actually has any experience with a no-dig garden or the method, or you know anyone who has, even better if you live in Australia, even better if you live in Victoria, and 101 brownie points if you're in Melbourne, climate speaking wise, and how to translate the method to a southern hemisphere sandy soil setting. Yeah, do let me know. Flippin' heck, I just asked my mum, and we're gonna give the current beds that we have that are half rotted, so we're already on their way out, gonna give them like one more season type of thing, but have permission to the surrounding grassy, weedy, mostly weedy area, with this no dig method with lots of compost on top. Oh, it's so great to have things to look forward to and feel a bit of purpose behind spring in your step type of thing. Today was good. I didn't think I was going to tackle that skirt. It was a dress that I bought from the op shop, but the boob, hip, length proportions were all out, but I really like the fabric. And yeah, I was going to make it a bit shorter, but I'm glad I didn't. And also that black sort of cropped long sleeve top, I was sort of feeling a bit post-purchase dissonance, but actually it's the perfect length for that and a number of other skirts I have that are really high, like waisted for a skirt, and it's kind of nice to just have them like sit at the perfect point on the band, and that top does. I was hesitating, but I think I'm gonna do it. I was gonna paint little white flowers around the rim just to give it a bit of individualization, a little bit of pattern, not too much. I've done a couple of guess the soundtrack because I'm playing it on the flute and I'm just having a little play and let's make it into an Instagram quiz sesh. Done a few of them. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, follow me on Instagram. Tend to do it on Sundays, or I just play certain scores and it's like guess the film they're from. It is actually pretty hard. Number one, because my playing is not that amazing, but two, like, don't feel discredited if you do actually listen to a lot of soundtracks and you're like, why didn't I get this? Or dang it, I should have just listened to the whole like 15 seconds or whatever it is, because I would have recognized it by the end. You're not thinking something stupid there, because it's like mainstream practice, especially in blockbuster films, to do a temp score, which they edit it to, and then they give the whole thing to a music composer and they build a score that's similar to the one they've just edited it to. So scores genuinely do sound very similar, and they'll start off the same and they'll just go in a different direction. So all the like Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, Merlin, that genre do genuinely taste the same, sound the same.
Never close your eyes, never stop and listen, never feel alive, and you're nothing missing. You don't need a reason, let the day go on and on. Let the rain fall down everywhere around you, give into it now, let the day surround you.
It's a bloomin' pigsty in here. A lot of parcels arrived at once. As you can see, I got myself a new like puffer jacket. I love my orange one, and even more so with my Handmaid's Tale patch, but orange has never been my colour, and this one is so cute, and it was on sale. It's quite hot now. Anyway, I got it from Dangerfield, if you're wondering. Not the most ethical of places, not the worst. And then I bought a whole bunch of leggings which are for my ice dyeing purposes. I've got all my dyes ready to go, but I just don't have the bottle of like dye sealant, or what you soak your garment in after you've ice dyed it to prevent the dye from running. That for some reason is taking a long time. But yeah, yay for mail day. And a new winter coat. I had so many intentions and I thought things were going to happen today. Skype calls with people, but they haven't, and it's gone a different way. An unexpected something that's coming out of this for me is it's like the death of the to-do list. I cannot. Just to-do lists are just kaput, redundant. They're no help. They're good for like a guide, but apart from being an extremely loose framework, they're just not working, which is fine. I'm so happy with that jacket. Oh!
Let the rain go on and on.
I have just done what I tend to do with clothes that I really, really like. I've just worn the jacket for like an hour while trying on other clothes to, you know, see how it fits into my wardrobe. I think ideally I would have got a size smaller, but it fits and it's good. It's just on the larger side. Anyway, I think it's one of those occasions where even if you have a very solid, positive relation, or just neutral relationship with your body and whatnot, even though I'm like 22, probably stopped growing like, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, I haven't been in like my adult body a huge amount of time in the scheme of things, and it's one of those, there's certain times still, which I'm sure most people can relate to, young people, that you just sort of have to catch yourself and like consciously catch any like toxic thoughts or learnt thoughts from like the beauty industry or fitness industry about notions of a attractive body, which is often small, and just shed that. And like, I love that jacket to bits, but yeah, because it's, I guess, slightly on the baggier side, I know it can bring up a thought or two, and that's with someone who has like a solid as heck, like has next to zero problems in that department. So yeah, spent the evening, I'm really hot though, because it's such a hot jacket and it's not that cold yet.
Only take the time from the helter skelter. Every day you fall, everything's in kilter. You don't need a reason, let the day go on and on. Every summer song, every winter evening, every spring to come, every autumn leaving. You don't need a reason, let it all go on and on.
I just incidentally found the best like anxiety squisher Enya songs. I was feeling a bit anxious and then thought I'd listen to some Enya. Oh my gosh, so calming.
I'm going to start whisking in piece by piece all of the remaining cold butter. Now that the sauce is made delicious. 4 ingredients.
No greens.
Mom, if this is a version of fancy pasta that I like to make that uses as the main ingredient.
Why was it cut like that? What's the... I don't know. Oh, what's cooking?
My lemons are...
Look from there to his elbows, like there to there.
winter.
Can, Mum?
Always amazing to me how
You're really whipping out
the
the
brightest
judgy gaze today.
I think that's another
Or
thing.
adding
The
more.
image just shows we would be adding the butter, not my butter.
sauce.
I've been saying that for like 6 years, Mum.
Well, I'm just
They're so much more
Really
possessive when they
around.
talk about how they're cooking.
Kind of almost like
I'm gonna add my flour, and the flour I'm using, or the flour I have.
Dinner was so good. Definitely took some inspiration from, I watched the Bon Appetit, all of them cooking like different pantry pasta dishes, and in that one of them like crispied up chickpeas in a lot of olive oil, and they look hella crispy, essentially shallow frying them, but you don't need a whole bunch of oil to achieve that. And bloomin' heck, they were so good. They are so flavorful, and when you just bake them in the oven they kind of turn into little rocks, little pebbles, at least when I do it, and they taste a bit cardboardy and bitter, at least when I do it. I'm not saying, not dissing that method, but and let's be honest, hardly surprising that a massive glug of olive oil achieves wonderful things. But if you haven't tried that, yeah, crispy up some chickpeas and pop them on pasta. They tasted kind of like fish and chips vibes. Something interesting to think about in the recipe testing sphere. I'm gonna wrap this video up because I want to edit it tomorrow. I hope it comes together. I feel like this week has been full of many new things. Discovering Charles Dowding was a huge one. Getting a fab winter jacket, which I keep like just putting on at random times during the day because it's so funky. I love it. And I've also discovered a whole lot of blogs that, yeah, today I was compiling a massive list of recipes I want to try because I haven't really felt excited to recipe create in ages. Also don't want to add that stress on top of me when you couldn't really find ingredients very reliably at supermarkets, but since that supermarkets shelves at least have sort of reached a more normal status of things and I'm feeling much better and more like myself, got my mojo, I want to make some stuff. I definitely haven't been like an eager vegan blog reader in the last couple of years, which is good for information, for inspiration in a way, because it means you're not just like reproducing what other people are doing. But I kind of cook a lot of the same things, like my recipes, I just sort of, because it's like on autopilot, and following a recipe can be really exhausting, constantly referring back to some instructions, you know? Sometimes you just don't want that, especially after a long day and you're making, it's half the time I feel to be like essentially doing a science experiment, just a gastronomical one. Thank you to the Patreons who support this channel. Follow me on Instagram for more content in between videos. Lots of love. Hope you're doing well, but yeah, take it day by day. Okay.